Here I am at last. I am not making my normal streaming times, and I'm not going to make my normal streaming days this week either. It just doesn't seem possible for me to keep a schedule. So keep your eye on, if you follow me, you'll get an alert. And keep your eye on those alerts if you really, really want to catch me at the beginning. I think most people do that are going to join me today. Tuesday mornings, I understand it's the start of the work week. People are working. It's the start of other people's weeks, whatever they're doing. People are busy. The sun is shining. It is summer. Yeah. So if we don't have many show up today, many chatters, that's okay. I am going to do a little bit of crafting because I have earmarked Tuesdays as crafting days. That could be anything. Today it's going to be the little Christmas cross stitch. Okay. I have a few things to talk about, show and tell. The very first one is one of the reasons I'm moving slow. Look at those colors behind me. That is two different types of wool. The green is called an emerald green, and it is Cormo. And underneath that is called bittersweet, and I'm in love with that color. I actually like those two colors together a lot. I am so seeing yoke work on a sweater with those two colors, you know what I'm saying? Tan and gray as the other colors for whatever in a sweater. I got sidetracked. That bittersweet underneath is the Icelandic fell, which is a softer undercoat. It is not soft. It's Icelandic. So we have the two extremes in fiber. Cormo is very soft, and the Icelandic is not. Not the best planning for a project that put them together. I don't know if I will or not. Anyway, I did a dye day yesterday. It wasn't an on my feet all day kind of thing, but it was an all day thing, right? There was times that the pots were cooking, there were times that they were cooling. In fact, that was overnight, which is why I had to do all of the dumping and rinsing and that sort of thing this morning and get it out to dry. Actually, that's only half of what I did. The other half is on a hanging rack in the bathroom. These are all called sweater dryers. Hi, Jade. Happy Tuesday to you, too. Talking about working on getting the fiber dry that I dyed yesterday. That's what I'm talking about. Some of it's behind me. Some of it is on a sweater dryer that hangs on the shower rod, and it has two tiers. I have the Icelandic has two coats. It's a dual coated sheep. So it has the undercoat, which is called thell, and the outer coat, which is called tog. Tog is longer, thicker, coarser. Okay, it's very easy to separate when you buy an Icelandic fleece. It's like you get a lock like this long, right? And you take that lock, and at the tip, wrong finger, whichever, okay, at the tip of that lock, you grab hold real hard, and you hold on to this, and you tug, and all of the tog comes out. Not all of it, but most of it. So it's a very slow, tedious process, and I did that, right? And then I discovered, after doing more research about working with Icelandic and everything, you're supposed to leave it together. But I'll put it back together when I drum card it. But I have the thell behind me. That's the supposedly undercoat. And the tog on the other rack drying, but they're the same colors. Same dye pot. Not same pot, but same colors. Likewise, the green is Cormo. It's a softer fleece. It's wool. And I just had too much to fit in one pot, so I had a smaller pot of the same. Oh, not the same. I had a smaller pot, and I thought I would make a color that might go with it well, and it's not going to. It's a sage green, and there's too much blue in this emerald green for me to be happy to put the sage green with it, but it'll get used, and there's not quite as much of that sage green. Either one's going to look good with the bittersweet. So that was my day yesterday, getting all those fibers dyed, and my morning this morning was getting them rinsed and out in their spaces to dry. When I say go with, I am talking about I will spin the colors separately into yarn, and then I will decide on a project that uses multiple yarns, multiple color yarns. And the vision I have is because of the Icelandic, you think of the Icelandic sweaters. And if you're familiar with it, they're kind of a solid body color, but they have a lot of pretty yoke work on them with different colors. That's what I mean when I say I probably will use them together. I may or may not, but I have lots of ideas as I work with a fiber. Even when I'm spinning it, I'm like, well, you know what? I think because I spend a lot of time looking at knitting patterns, I don't spend a whole big amount of time as knitting. And I have a lot of ideas, right? So these ideas go through my mind as I'm working with the fiber. I eventually decide on something. Yeah, right. You have no clue how this works. I get what you mean, though. That's exactly what I was going for when I dyed the two greens, okay? I thought I was going to get a lighter yellow, more yellow, and the sage green really is green-brown, right? It's going to go wonderful with a lot of other stuff, but I think it's going to look muddy. I wouldn't spin the two fibers together. I definitely will make distinct yarns. And so therefore you can separate your, whatever knitting I do, I can have that green and, and maybe even stripes or whatever, and I can have the other green. So, yeah. I will keep the fibers distinct. I will make distinct yarns. I don't know when. It'll be a while. This all has to be processed, which means either drum carded or combed to get it ready to spin. So anyway, that's probably going to be the big bulk of my fiber work this week. We have plans to stay overnight at a hotel on Thursday. I won't do anything tomorrow because I need to catch up a little bit on some paperwork and some other stuff. And normally I stream Thursday nights, but I am going to put that off since we are going out of town, and I will stream Friday evening. I like streaming Friday nights. I used to stream Friday nights all the time. I told, hubby, when I was streaming, I said, we don't ever do anything on Friday nights. Well, yes, we do. He wasn't happy with the Friday nights. And I said, okay. He says, do Tuesdays and Thursdays. I said, fine. Now, don't you know, every time he wants to go away, now it's Thursday nights. So I just put up with it. Yeah, I will be streaming Thursday night and Sunday afternoon. Okay, technically this is supposed to be a crafting day. And the other thing I was going to talk about is behind me here. And I don't know if I can get this camera. Okay, I'm going to move the camera so it makes you vertigo. Let's see if I can. Sorry. Figuring out which way to go here. Okay, so the answer is no. Not going to work. All right, I'll do it a different way. Sorry about that. Did you close your eyes so you didn't get seasick? Bottom line is I have a huge cross stitch going. Okay, it's a dragon. I haven't made myself work on it for quite a while. I can't. I don't know. It's tiny work, and I don't feel like tiny work early in the mornings, and I stream early craft days early in the morning. So I haven't been working on it, but that's not to say I haven't been working on it. I have not been working on it at all. And it dawned on me, if I had a knitting project like this, I would have by now frogged it and reused yarn. And do you know? Oh, it's right behind my head. There it is. See it? See my dragon? Stupid me. I didn't realize it was right behind my head. Anyway, that is supposed to have a whole bunch of waves around it. It's coming out of water. And then it has, a whole bunch of stuff behind it up in the sky. You can see how big of a project it is. And I really want to do it. But the other reason is I almost have to do it. It's either going to live like this forever, or I'm going to get it to a certain point where I cut it down to size and frame something smaller, which is a possibility, But I can't frog it, which is the term we use. And when we knit something we don't like or crochet something we don't like, we undo it and reuse the yarn. Can't do that with cross stitch. Cross stitch is forever. Or you throw it out, and I certainly am not going to do that. So, yes, that is my work in progress that will leer at me like the dragon every day until I finish it. I can't get rid of it. Yes, that is my needle winder. I have two of them, actually. There's one down in the lower corner, too. I can do it. I need to just make myself do it. But today I am working on a Christmas cross stitch, and I'm happy with it. I love it. And so that's what we're going to do. But I have something else to show you before we do that. Let me change cameras, though. Jade, how is the balance between music and my voice, please? I was having lots and lots and lots of trouble with that several streams ago. I found where I could turn the music down on a different setting than I was trying to turn it down on my computer. So I am hoping that I have it where you can just maybe hear it, or you're not having any trouble hearing my voice. That's what I need to know, if you can hear my voice okay. You have... What is that number? 90 billion? What is that number? Other ideas of cross stitch or embroidery things you want to do. But you're not going to start them until you finish your one cross stitch and a quilting project I started last year. Good for you. Well, we could challenge each other. How big is your... Well, I think those... Is that quilting or quilling? Are you doing quilling? I've done one thing quilling. I like it. It's cool. Your levels are great. Okay. It could be turned up a touch. Okay. It is quilling. Ah. Oh. Are you going to post that on my Discord? Because I would love to see that. I think what I did was like a Christmas snowflake thing, right? And I still have some of the quilling paper and a book, of course. Of course, I have a book. So I would love to see it. What is it? What is it? Is it like a flower? Is it like, what is it that you're making? And I will turn up the music just a smidge. I'm not sure which one to turn up. This is, like I said, I am experimenting here. So we'll go with that and see how it works. It doesn't sound any different to me, but I did put it up just a smidge. So, oh man, that sounds amazing. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see that. That sounds so good. Okay, here is what's on my table to show you today for a show and tell. I did this last year. Part of it. Okay. If you are familiar with Native American some traditions, they use what they call sweetgrass for smudging and other things. But it's also, they make, in the South, they use sweetgrass for basket making. All right, now, I have not tried any of the basket making, but I do have a pot of sweetgrass. This is from what I clipped off this spring, and it pretty much was the entire what was in the pot. I am not sure. It is grass. It should come back, right? It was not out in the weather, but it was not inside, right? And so I didn't treat it like a house plant. I treated it like grass. This is the second year. The first year it survived a protected environment over winter outside. So I am hoping that it comes up. It's just that during that winter time I didn't water it much. And so there's no green shoots right at this point. I'm hoping very much that I get more. So that's what I have to work with right now. But this is what I did last year when I cut it and gave it its good haircut and everything. This is a bracelet, and as you can see, all I did was braid it. I took a certain number of strands together and I did a braiding. I found a really cool button, and I love buttons. I bought a big glass jar, old-fashioned glass jar full of just wood buttons. These were, I don't know, I mean, somebody collected just wood buttons, and this was one of them. So I love this. This is what I made. And yeah, it goes around and round and everything, but it is so cool. The sweetgrass no longer smells. Now this does have its distinctive smell still. This is what's going to be a smudge stick. It's just braided also. I wrapped the end of it there. Ooh, there we go. You know, with one strand to kind of hold it together. I have yet to actually smudge anything or use it. I almost don't want to, but I am really tickled that is growing for me. I hope it comes back because it is. It's really cool. It's cool to work with. This little braiding bit is kind of fun. It's out on my porch now. It's out in the and getting attention, so hopefully it'll come back. Smudge stick is a cleansing for the environment or for the person. Some magic practice supposedly will cleanse a person by outlining them with a smudge stick, or I traditionally use it if I think that there's been a lot of bad vibes in one area, which is why I haven't used it, because my house, I smudged it when I first moved in here, but that was 33 years ago, right? The vibes are all ours, but it's a cleanser, right? It's the smoke and the smell, and of course they chant, but that's not necessary. It's just a ritual kind of thing, is all it is. It's a pretty good way to get rid of some bad feelings, bad vibes. It's not quite as effective as oust for bad smells, but you know what I mean. Yes, good point. No, that I mean, yeah, burn it and you don't get charcoal. It actually flames away to nothing. In fact, one of the harder part about the whole idea of using it for smudging is you actually need to have it a little wet, or something to make it smoke, as opposed to right now if I lit it, it would just go up and puff up and flame and be gone. That reminds me of one time on stream quite a few years ago. It's not around anymore, the stream isn't. I was trying to figure out what different kinds of fibers were, and you do a burn test just like, you know, cloth, you can do a burn test and tell what kind of fiber. I don't know if you've ever known that, but you can do a burn test. And I had all these fibers, and I was explaining on the stream what it meant to, you know, just burn this certain way means it's silk, burn this certain way it means it's a natural fiber, burn this certain way it's a plant fiber. And anyway, I had one, I forget, I don't even remember what it was, but I put the match to it and it went poof. I mean, literally, it just went poof. And I was like, oh my gosh. Put it out. I may have a highlight of that. I don't know. That may be in my channel as a highlight. Not sure. I do highlight stuff. You know, every once in a while, if you haven't gone to look, Jade, sometime you might go and just watch the highlights on my channel, because usually it's something kind of funny that happens on the stream. Sometimes it's all about, I want to teach a certain point. You know, I'm teaching about things. The highlights are that way for that too. But. Okay, I'm going to get my cross stitch out here. And I need my light. Burn this and you pass out. It's toxic. Yeah, I know. No, fortunately. You know, the synthetics, that's probably a possibility. They just melt. The synthetics all just melt. They just curl up into a bead, right? A black bead. But that is a traditional spinner. I don't know what this fiber is process. Doing a burn test to figure out what it is. There you can Google you can Google burn test for fibers, and you'll get that information. What is happening? I have a closed door while I'm streaming. Well, let's see here. This is his broom. By the way, this is what it looks like that I'm working on. I think I've shown it before. Oops, I hate that glare. Sorry. And we got the broom here. We got the puppy dog here. Can't wait to get on the snowman. There'll be lots of weight. So I have my red ready to go because I wanted to finish the border down below. We'll start with that. All right. Let's see if I can move this closer to me. And I wonder if, let me see if I can get a better, less glare on the light. This light is so glary. That makes it worse. And that's right in my eyes. It's good to work by, though, I'll tell you. It sounds similar to spark and file testing. Oh, for forging and metalworking stuff. Use the color of the sparks or different files to determine approximate hardness of the steels. Now that you just taught me something, I did not know that. Especially the color of the sparks is pretty neat. That is interesting information. I'll probably never have to use, but it's really interesting. That's what this is all about, isn't it? This streaming stuff and watching streams and everything. Well, I don't want to do this without that light. Too hard to see on the black. I will go back to this, I think. If I can get that spotlight. Nope. I know what I need to do. Hang on a minute. Let's see if this softens it. Yep. No glare now. Oh, that's upside down. See the back of my needlework. Don't see my needlework. Want to see my needlework? There we go. All right, I should be set now. All right. Just across the bottom here. I like cross stitching once I get going. I got back into cross stitching. Why did I get a gray thread there? Oh, guess what? That's not thread. That is fluff off of the towel, because I use this as my spinning towel. Okay, not a good idea, I guess. This year, after I had healed from my knee surgery and could go up the stairs, my craft room was upstairs, and the very first thing I did was give it a good once over. And of course I found that dragon cross stitch, and I was like, okay, I think it's time you set this up and you can work on it. Just, you're retired, you can work on it. So I did that. Set it up down here, did a couple streams with it. But the next thing that I found was all the cross stitch magazines. And I have been on a goal of really deciding what is higher priority for magazines. Crafting magazines in particular, because that's really all I have. I have past years of spinning magazines and knitting magazines and cross-stitch magazines and sewing magazines you can see a theme here. And I figured it's about time, if I'm not going to do certain things, like cross stitch or sewing, they should find a home with people that would like that do it. So I went through the cross stitch ones, and I was pretty much going to get rid of all of them, and I ended up saving a dozen, which actually there was not that many more that I had. They were just, I didn't find them to be the kind of cross stitch I thought I would be doing or interested in. I really do at least admit that I'm not going to do more than this one big one. This is going to be it. And the small is enjoyable, so that's what I focused on. Anyway, that's what got me back into the cross stitch this year. Hi, Kay. How are you today? Are you having lovely weather? We are having a beautiful sunshiny day. You can see you can't see. I have a long sleeve flannel shirt on. It's chilly in the house. We are in the season where there's absolutely no reason to have doors or windows closed and or run the heat. We will run the air conditioner once in a while, close everything up and run the air conditioner sometimes when it just really does get too hot, but we haven't hit that yet. We're going to hit that this Friday. So consequently, the house doesn't, ironically, get as warm as it does outside. And just sitting around, I get chilly. In fact, I was having a terrible time sleeping last night until it finally dawned on me the reason is because I was cold. So I put another blanket on the bed, and so it's so hard to judge right now. But we do have gorgeous sunshiny day. We had that yesterday too. I sat outside yesterday morning for a couple hours at our table and wrote some letters before I got busy on doing my dye day. You got nice weather too. You're a little tired. I'm tired too. I mean, because I wasn't sleeping well. Because I was cold, I think. Well, I stayed up late watching a streamer that I really like that always streams late my time. She's in Eastern Standard Time too. Her name is Snoring Cat Fibers. She lives in Pennsylvania. I don't catch her stream very often because if things have gone the way you usually do during the day, I get real tired and I fall right asleep as soon as she doesn't come on until like 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. So I don't catch her real often. Oh good, there's more red in his scarf. I was going to say, I'm going to run out here and have a lot of red left. Or start a new one and have a lot of red left. My hubby has been working outside every day, and it's been heavy work. We have bushes, flowering bushes that go down the whole length of our lane. There's probably 24 of these, and they have grown so big, and we have to chop them back so that they don't scratch cars and stuff going down the lane. And that's what he's been doing. He barely gets his supper in him before he's sound asleep. If I worked that hard, I would be too, but I don't work that hard. Oh, really? You were on an overnight for a week? You're overnights, okay. I was going to say that's a multiple, yeah, for a week. Well, a lot of the spinner knitters call her Fiber Mom, but, you know, I am actually older than her, so it's more like Fiber Sisters for us. Oh, this is frustrating me. I have this little bit and I didn't get it tucked under, and now I can't get it threaded. Spend 15 minutes of my stream trying to thread a needle. Yeah. I am too. I'm usually in bed by 10. Sometimes earlier. Okay. I may just have to carry this to the side and stitch over it, because I can't get it. So, Kate, were you here when I was talking about my dye day yesterday? Did you hear that? Or do you want some of that? I'll do it. I'll tell you again if you want some information about it. Oops, I got that. Boy, fussy today. I at the start of this, were you here at the start of the stream? When I was talking about my day yesterday when I was doing all the dyeing of fiber. I don't want to just say I was doing all the dyeing. Where's the end? There it is. Hold it there. Okay, I'm going to cross stitch over this little bit so that I hold it in place. Okay. Well, I thought maybe you'd be interested, so that's why I asked. I'm going to, real quick, you can see it in the background there, but I'm going to go to the other screen real quick here. There you go. Okay, so I actually had 4 dye pots going, so that's half of it. But the green on top is Cormo, and the bittersweet on the bottom is Icelandic Thel, the undercoat. And then I have the Tog dyed the same color, and the fourth pot was more of the Cormo because there was a lot. And I'm real anxious. I can't tell right now whether it's going to be. I mean, I love the colors. I'm really, really happy with the colors. I can't tell how the Cormo is going to process, whether it's such a delicate fiber, right? It's so thin, and it's just, I don't know whether I'm going to have a problem getting it carded or combed, but I can't tell that until it dries. So I had an all-day process getting those done. I'll go back to the. That is day one of possibly 3 dye days that I have planned. The next is going to be, that's what I did where you put in the pot is immersion dyeing, but that's going, the next one's going to be where you take saran wrap and roving and put your dye on it and then roll that all up and steam it. That's going to be my next dye day. I have a bunch of roving to do. I have to go buy saran wrap. Go buy 2 boxes of it. It takes a lot to do it. I'm picking up a lot of fiber with my thread. That's why I'm do it that way. Okay, I'm trying to figure out if this. It doesn't look like it's actually moving. Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know. I hate not having music for the stream, but I am just having so much trouble. if I use Pretzel or or YouTube, um, get muted. Well, you're training a very talkative coworker, huh? You know, it's okay if they're actually paying attention and learning. But I know what you mean. It's not a bad thing so much as, wow, I'm not used to that many words coming at me at one time. Okay, Jade. Happy work day. I will have a good stream. You have a great day. And thank you for posting the quilling project. I am going to enjoy watching that develop. It sounds amazing. Might inspire me to dig out the quilling for a stream. Oh, don't unthread. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Okay. I need to cut this end here. No new hobbies for you. No new hobbies. That said, it is super pretty. You've already looked? Oh my gosh. I'll go look right now. Anything to put your work down here. I need to post some pictures. Oh, that's quilling? Oh my gosh. I'm in awe. Really, I'm in awe. Okay, are the pieces of paper they're standing on end? They're not all rolled. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the things I've done in quilling has been tiny compared to that. She's not probably, you know. It's just, oh my gosh, that's great. Okay. Now I gotta decide where to go next. Let's see here. I have that color. I'll try that one next. I think after I finish this, which is going to be a while, but I think I'm going to do some embroidery, like a pillowcase or something. I'm in the mood to do something that I don't have to count. course, a lot of my focus June, July, and August is going to be the stash dash, getting spinning done. I'll still be working on this anyway. I look at these little projects and I think, oh, that won't take long. It takes forever if you only work on it maybe once a week. Even more favorite than embroidery, but with the stamped embroidery, is crewel work. Stamped crewel work. I love doing that. And I love doing needlepoint too, which is more of a chart count thing, but so many crafts, so little time. You've done cross stitch and counter, but not the embroidery? You didn't have a grandma that made you learn how to embroider? I did. I can smell vinegar. It's from the fiber, from the dye pot. It smells like vinegar in here. You went on an hour's walk yesterday because the weather was so nice. Oh, you're stiff. Oh, yeah. Your grandma sewed some, mostly clothes, but she wasn't much for embroidery. Your mom taught you to cross stitch, but she didn't do a ton of it either. Yeah. My grandmother, I have pillowcases. She did. They're unfortunately yellowed, the actual cotton, uh, but it has just some gorgeous embroidery work on it. Um, I ought to get those and show them sometime. I have them stored, of course. I don't use them. First of all, we use king size pillows, and these were standard size pillows, right? But they're beautiful, and in the worst case, I could, salvage the a area around the embroidery and just do a framed hanging. But the nice thing about the pillowcases were they also have the crocheted edging on them, right? So they're just too sentimental right now for me to cut them up or do anything with them, but I don't use them. That's, I love that kind of stuff, and I look for it when we go antique shopping or thrift store, that kind of stuff. Don't see it much anymore. It's been pretty much snatched up now, and people aren't doing more new. You know. I guess this silver color is supposed to be like snow on the broom and that sort of stuff. I think if your grandpa was still around, he'd get a kick out of me spinning. He always was trying to get me into quilting. And his sister raised sheep for a long time. And her son raises sheep now. Oh, do you get fleece from them, or are they meat only? Um, you have it in your blood though, don't you? I had no spinners at all. Nothing like that. Nothing at all in my growing up time. All right, gotta take a little bit of break. I'll be changing colors here. Excuse me while I munch on a cracker because it is lunchtime and I missed it. It's driving me crazy not to know if that music is going onward. I can't hear it well enough to know. You think they do wool? He's a few hours away from me, so you haven't been able to get anything from him yet. He does come up to Wisconsin Sheep and Wool, though. Oh, I've been there once. I was there one time, a long time ago. So you're going to see him then? You're pretty sure they have Lester. Cool. That's exciting. That is way too far away, the Wisconsin one, but I did get there one time. You know, we made it a destination trip. Figure out where I'm at here. Let's see, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can hear it, but it's low. Yeah, I know. I had so much trouble with it. All you really get is that little backbeat thing. I had so much trouble with it being too loud while I was talking. I'm putting it up just a little bit here. Just that I keep hearing that same beat rhythm, and I'm wondering if it's progressing or if it's stuck there. This is a thing called chill hop. Little free service, free music thing. I heard it change there. Alright, 3 more stitches on this color, and I'm going to stop because I want to tack it down. Well, I think the white side would be so much easier to work on. This black is really something else. It's like, I say this every time I work on it. It's like knitting with black yarn. Alright, got another strand of the same color. Go up the other side of the broom. Well, at least we can see that there's something happening on there. Alright, where am I? I'm at that one. One up, two over. Oh, I unthreaded it. Yeah, since I did that, I'm going to get this red out of the way. Alright, we're going to move this red somewhere else since the side I'm working on. Let's put it on the other side.
thread it.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay, thanks for stopping by. Have a good work day.
I am going to push this aside here and take a break. Ooh, I need a needle minder for this. Maybe I'll take one off of this. Whoa. It's a dragon. Needle minder. Oh, man, I am so stiff. I don't even want to stretch. I think I'm going to have to work on these broom colors next here. I'll take a little break. Let me figure that out here. Looks like I have 2 different colors. Looks like I have some already started here. Not that. Oh, these are short. Yep. It's these two. These two. Are going to knot up. Okay. The one thing I didn't do is make a color card, you know, where you have the symbol in the little piece of thread there to show you what's what. The chart for this is nice. It's a little hard to read, but it's actual colors as well as a symbol. So, you know, like this has a color, yellow, and the symbol in there, which is a triangle. I don't know why I made this so short, but I did. So, oh, that needle minder makes it heavy. I think I'll take that off while I'm working on it. Okay. Ooh, this back is messy.
The one thing that this has that I have not been doing is that
half stitch, where one of part of the cross, let's say the under part is one color and the other part is the other color. I know it's a shading thing, but I'm not really trying to shade this silver, which is supposed to be snow, on top of the broom in a way. I guess, I don't know. It's not a big enough picture that would make a difference. I'm just making up excuses though, because I truly don't like doing that half stitch thing. It comes from working just with one needle. If you have your needles threaded, multiple needles threaded, it's not so bad.
It is nice to have. I'm just filling in here right now.
I'll have to count.
Excuse me.
That tickle. Oh, it's working out. I love it when it does that. But my neck is starting to... It's getting time. I'm going to finish this little bit of thread up. And do it exactly like it. As far as it'll go.
Did I? I was saying I'd do the next die day on Saturday, but that's not gonna work. I am going to a fiber fair Saturday. With my daughter and several of her friends. Unfortunately, my daughter is on a bit of a schedule, as she often is, because of my grandson, who is not going to come along. He's not interested at all. Alright. I keep thinking I'm hearing thunder. That cannot be thunder. There's blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. I don't know what I'm hearing.
Oh, yes I do. It's Tuesday. It's a trash truck. We have a dumpster. So it goes kabang, kabang, kabang. And they empty it. Alright. I'm going to work on this again, which will probably be next week, next Tuesday. I'll work hard on getting this whole broom done. That like it's warm. I also don't feel like I'm being blinded. I will say it's getting a little strong in here with the door closed and the vinegar wafting off of the fiber in the background. Oh goodness. It's not exactly making my eyes water, but it's a little strong. All right. Okay, so thank you all for hanging out. Today I will be back, as I said, Friday. I don't know exactly what time, but then Sunday's a big one. So come on Sunday. I will have things to show from the Fiber Fair, I am sure. So until later, you all have some great rest of the week. Take care and happy spinning. See you later. Bye.